What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a little something right there, the plank by Avis Marine, but there's a huge problem. This thing is hanging in front of the tank. Why? There's many reasons why. Okay, so there's not many reasons why it's sitting here. There's only one huge reason, is because when I did order the top lid, I was just so in a rush to get it and making sure my light bracket fits that I did not think about telling them to put a cutout for the plank. So for right now, it's just sitting inside one of these little ports, one of the two, and I just got it like, just sitting just like that. Okay, first off, before we get into this video, if the camera like moves in a weird way, I got this gimbal. I had it, I just never used it, but it's time for me to have these steady shots. Anyways, so the plank, it feeds really well, and with your like controller, I believe you're gonna need a controller with this because everything is timed. So you got a plug for the motor, for the little C-chain nano that's in there that like kind of like pushes the food down, and then you got another motor that's turning the food and it comes out to the front. So keep in mind, you're gonna need two outlets for this feeder. So right up top, you just got this little pour and you just put your food in there, close it back up, and this thing is like self-sufficient. So yeah, two outlets. I think you're definitely gonna need a controller of some sort because everything has to be timed, and you want the pump to turn on first and then the food like a minute after maybe, and then, or you could have that one come on like the same time, but then when it turns off, you want the food to stop and the pump to go on a minute extra just to get out any food that's still up there to bring it down into the tank. So I have it total of I think 4 minutes for the pump, and then 2 minutes or 3 minutes in between that for the food. And then on the bottom here, where the food dispenses out of, there's some notches, some different size holes there, and you can adjust that of how much and how fast like amounts of food will come out. So I have it on like the second setting because I'm doing micro feedings, and then you obviously, whatever food you put in there, I'm using their reef jerky. It comes with like a free bag, so a sample bag, so that's what I'm using right now. The fish seem to like it. It's kind of like grainy, powderish, so I want something a little bit bigger as far as like pellets, maybe flakes. So I'll probably end up getting that, but I'm gonna use this stuff, finish it off, because the fish seem to like it. So why not? I think it's like freeze-dried food. It comes in a little bag. Anyway, so then just watch how much of that food comes and you can adjust that, and you should be good to go on that. Eventually, I'll probably get another lid. Not right now because these things are super pricey. And I'll have it like back there, kind of tucked away, and where it feeds, one of the like MP40s or whatever pump I have back there will kind of push the food out through the tank. So for now, this thing's kind of sit here because there's no other way to put this. And I think if I cut a hole in this net's gonna just like rip off. So it's just gonna have to stay here, guys. It's an eyesore for real though. So honestly, I had this for like 2 days and I haven't seen the Moorish idol pick at any coral. So what I do is I have like multiple, I think I got like 6 feedings set up. Oh, there it goes right now. Look at that. So that's how it's coming out right now. And look, they go crazy for it. So it has like little dried shrimps in there too. So the bigger fish eat that, and then the rest of the stuff, the other fish seem to like it. Anyway, so as far as these micro feedings, this has been helping Gyer from picking at the SPS. And honestly, in those 2 days, I was looking at like the acros and I could see little polyp extensions. So the whole time, it wasn't me doing something wrong. It was the fish picking at these corals. So that was a huge problem I was dealing with and might be still dealing with. I don't know, it's only been a few days, so I'm not getting like overly excited about, yes, problem solved. But for now, this auto feeder is doing magic for me. So the whole 2 outlet thing, before you get it, obviously make sure you have 2 outlets open that's controllable. And obviously you could put like the lights or something on like a regular outlet, because that's connected to your apps, and you can control it that way. You don't need it to hook up to your board, the control board. So that's just something to keep in mind. Right now I'm like tapped out of all the outlets. I think I got 18 outlets. I just put everything on there right now until I get something that I need some control on. Then I'll probably just take off the lights and put them in a different, what do they call, surge protectors or something like that. I did get a sand sifting goby right there. Look at him going to work. And he's been cleaning the sand bed pretty well. Sometimes it's a mess because like he'll put sand all over this flower pot, and I would have to go with the stick and kind of like remove some of the sand around it. But I've been having issues with like brown algae. It's definitely brown algae. I looked up all the red stuff, cyano, it's none of that. It's definitely brown algae. And on my last ICP test, it said 0. First time it was really bad. I had like really bad high silicates in my RODI. But this last time around, it was like 0. And I don't know where all this stuff is coming from. Oh my God, still feeding. I might need to cut down on this food a bit. Might be from that. But it was definitely happening before this feeder. So like definitely on the lower, like right there, as you can see, it's like really bad. But that's the only real issue I'm dealing with is brown algae. And I tried to scrape some of it off before the video, but it was definitely a fail. I had an MP40 laying around. Yeah, I have MP40s, like super expensive pumps just laying around. These are from like previous tanks I had and bought a bunch of stuff. So I found that, just bought the new wet side and I put it there. Since I got 2 now, I put it on like 10%. And I got it, I think the Gyer, so it's like with child to the one on the other side, and seems like good flow, nothing seems pissed off. Some of the hammers look a little more like closed up, not closed up, like more compact on this side, but I just needed a little more flow for the acros. I lost one in the middle there. I think it was getting nipped at too much. And then rest of them look like growth is really slow. As you know, you gotta have a real lot of patience with this stuff. So, but like green slimer, if you look closely, it's actually growing some more branches. So things are growing, and then down right there, slowly covering the base there. Yeah, as far as corals, everything looks, knock on wood, really well. As far as reef moonshiners, I'm still doing it. I think I'm gonna send out another ICP test next week. So that'll take about another week and a half for it to get back, and then I'll see. It's most likely gonna be that fluoride stuff, and that's pretty much it. So I ordered 2 more bottles just in preparation for that. And other than that, the other one, there's like a few other trace elements, but that I add to the tank within like 2-3 days, and that's done. And the fluoride is usually for like 4 or 5 days. So yeah. And then I got a question for you guys. Is all like trace element brands the same? Because Fauna Marin sent me some like promotional stuff, and it gave me a huge bottle of fluoride or fluorine, whatever. And I wonder if I could use that next time. Let me know in the comments. Or is it like different like strengths of this stuff? I don't know. Until I have like confirmation of that, I'm not gonna use it, but it's a humongous, I think it's like a 2-liter bottle of that. There is one more experiment I wanna do. It's not really an experiment, it's called laziness. I'm not gonna do water changes. Since I'm doing the reef moonshiners, they say you don't have to do water changes, and I'm like a big believer in water changes. It just seems right. But as long as I have all the trace elements for the corals and stuff, I think it should be fine. As long as like my phosphates and nitrates don't like shoot up super high where I have to do a water change, and where I can control it with some GFO, then I think I'm gonna go that route. But if things start looking bad, I'm I'm gonna definitely do water changes. So I think that's how it works with everyone. Kind of nervous about that, but let's just see how good things go. That's pretty much it as far as like coral and fish health and tank health. Everything's pretty smooth. I did have an issue where I believe the Herbie, yeah, so these are Herbies, where you know how Herbies, you have to have the water trickle into the overflow just a little bit. Something happened, I think when I did that last water change, I put too much water and I was only paying attention to the sump. Didn't realize like the water was kind of too high at the top. So I think this is like for everyone, it goes for everyone. So if that water is not a trickle and it's like way more than a trickle, it can affect your sump level. It'll like fluctuate, but it won't fluctuate like immediately. Like randomly you'll look in your sump and your sump water will be higher. Because if it's not trickling, your fluctuations be like constant, up, down, up, down. So you gotta have it at the right spot, just enough going into the emergency where it'll be stable. So if it's too much, your sump level is gonna rise and then it's gonna be a mess. So I was having issues with that. I thought my ATO was messed up and couldn't think of what it was, but it was that. And I finally got it set. So I have a little tip for anyone that has an aquaforest tank. So if you look closely at the back right there, there's that little, I'm gonna try to focus there, that little, what's it called? Seahorse. So if you have the water level right at the top of its fin, back fin, that is the sweet spot. And you will have enough trickling into the emergency where you should be like dead on perfect first time. So right above the back fin of the seahorse on their little logo, and it's like perfect. So it should be the same, because I think the back overflow is the same on all the Oceangaurds. If it's not, then I don't know if it's gonna work for you, but if you have the 605, it should be spot on. There's one thing I've been thinking about doing is rescaping this rock. This one looks good. It's just this one. I don't know, like I had this vision, I don't know why, about the whole SPS growing or acros growing and all that, but now it just looks weird. I think it's just too flat. So I'm doing some research. I don't know how this works. I know you can get a mini cycle if you put like new rock in there, but I think I need to take some of that off. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm just still thinking about this. And maybe either taking the whole thing out, I don't know if that's gonna be good for this whole biological filtration thing, or just take some of it off and rescape it and kind of put a little more arches and kind of like shelves like going up and see how that looks, because I'm kind of not happy with that right side. And if Gil here doesn't, I'm gonna give it another week, if he doesn't like attack any more SPS, then I'm gonna order a few more, because it's really looking empty on this side. And then you've got on this side, it's looking pretty full. So that's the last little things I'm gonna do as far as the rock work, but it's just a thought. I don't know, I really don't wanna mess with things right now when things are actually going well. All right guys, that is it for the video. I know it wasn't that exciting because nothing went wrong. Everything's pretty good. So one last tip before I go here, the back glass. I know everyone's like cleaning the front glass, side glass, making sure it's good. And then when it comes to the back glass, I don't know, I get lazy. I don't know if you guys get lazy, but because it's just harder to do sometimes with all like the pumps and stuff, if you have stuff back there, or if it's like pushed to the wall, keep up with the back glass, because if that gets like too thick, even those little flipper scrapers, it takes some like work to get that clean. I did it one time, really good, and then didn't do it for a while, and then it got caked up again. So it's just a really pain to keep that back glass clean if you're not consistent with it as the front side. So just a little tip. All right guys, I will catch you guys on the next